and happy Saturday. Oh, now the blinds are uneven. I have to fix that. Good morning. I had the blinds down because the sun, you can still see it right there in the sky, was just pouring in. And I could hardly see you. So now I can see you. I hope you can see me. I love the sunshine. It is Saturday and it's story time, and I'm so excited to be with you. And I am wearing my winter sweater, and I'm so excited because today we are celebrating the dark and the light. Next week, a week from today, on December 21st, it's going to be the shortest day. And it's going to be the winter solstice. And I think I've never really done a story time just on the solstice. And we're going to do light and dark today. And they're both so important. We're going to discover why. So we're going to start today with this book. It's called The Shortest Day. And I don't know whether I should read the back of the book first, or, you know what, I'll go ahead and read the book as it is, and then in the back there's a wonderful explanation. So this book is called The Shortest Day. Susan Cooper and Carson Ellis. So, the shortest day came. And the year died. And everywhere down the centuries of the snow-white world came people singing and dancing to drive the dark away. They lighted candles in the winter trees. They hung their homes with evergreen. They burned beseeching fires all night long to keep the year alive. And when the New Year's sunshine blazed awake, they shouted, reveling. Through all the frosty ages, you can hear them echoing behind us. Listen. All the long echoes sing the same delight. This shortest day, as promise wakens in the sleeping land. They carol, they feast, they give thanks, and dearly love their friends and hope for peace. And so do we, here, now, this year, and every year. Welcome, Yule. So, this book is all about the traditions that surround the shortest day, when we have an equal amount of daylight and darkness. So I have to read this, if it's okay. This might be too much, but that's okay. From the very beginning, and so this is an explanation in the back of the book, our lives have been cyclical. And as the solstices, the sun reaches its highest or lowest points in our sky, giving us the longest or the shortest, which is where we're coming up to, day of the year. At the equinoxes, day and night are almost equal. Spring equinox, summer solstice, autumn equinox, and winter solstice. Round and round they go. If you live on a planet that circles the sun, your time is governed by patterns of light and darkness, summer and winter, warmth and cold, and of course, life and death. Okay, the extreme. Okay, so our forebears learned to farm. They planted and they harvested, but it was the solstices that caught their attention. The extremes. They watched their days shrink from the bright abundance of high summer to the bleak, dark cold of winter. And they invented rituals to make sure the light would come back again, to bring the new day, the new year, and the rebirth of life. And so it goes on to explain that we have all sorts of traditions this time of year with light. And it says it's a universal impulse, this celebration of light as a symbol of continuing life. The Yule, which is that log, and the evergreens of my poem came from Northern Europe. But the candles in those Christmas trees belong to the same family as the menorah candles of Hanukkah or the oil lamps of Diwali. So I just think that this is, oh, there's that sun. See that sun? The shortest day of the year. So we are approaching a time where we're going to have this almost the same amount of light as we do dark. Okay, so we're thinking about light and dark. That sunshine is pouring in. And now we get to sing, I think, a song. And we are going to sing, let's do this one.
Snowflakes falling all over
Snowflakes.
town, slipping, sliding, everybody rushing round.
Everybody rushing round.
There's an icy chill in the air.
Woo!
Telling
Should I shut that?
us that winter's finally here. Oh, I'm so glad that winter is here. Grab your sled and let out a happy cheer, because it's snowing, blowing all through the day.
I guess I can sit here.
Will surely blow all your cares away.
Here we are.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, lashing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright.
Right.
What fun it is to ride and sing a sleigh song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
All right. So we're thinking about light and winter. Should I shut that blind? Maybe I should. Do I need to? I might need to. Oh, it's so beautiful. All right. For the sake of being able to see, we'll shut that blind. All right. This is called Twinkle, Twinkle, Winter Night. thinking about light in the darkness. Twinkle, twinkle, winter night. Twinkle, twinkle, winter night. Everywhere you look, there's light. And the light here is the light of the moon. Come along to see the show. Nightfall sets the world aglow. Rising slowly overhead, moon tucks daylight into bed. In the quiet, calm, and clear, sky sparkles like a chandelier. Shimmer, glimmer, glowing light, twinkle, twinkle, winter night. Snowflakes join the soundless show, hushing up the world below, dusting glitter on Earth's face, dressing trees, I love this, in coats of lace. What a great description. Peaceful, perfect, silent, white. Twinkle, twinkle, winter light. More magic lies just further on, only seen from dusk till dawn. From quiet wood to busy town, look up, look down, look all around. Houses wear their very best, each one different from the rest. Some have brilliant colored lights, others creamy, dreamy whites. Beaming, gleaming, lively sight, twinkle, twinkle, winter light. Pathways beckon bright and bold, windows wink with eyes of gold. A candle here, 8 more there, for all to see and all to share. Darkness, dazzle, warmth, delight, twinkle, twinkle, winter light. Now off to cozy beds to sleep, bundled, burrowed, snug and deep. The feathered, furry, tall and small, sweet dreams of light to one and all. Magic, wonder, beauty bright, twinkle right on through the night. Twinkle, twinkle, winter night, everywhere you look. There's light. Isn't that beautiful? And so in this darkest time of the year, it's actually super bright. And there are so many examples of light shining in the darkness. All right, more books, more books, more books. So let's go ahead. This one is called A Day So Gray. And I think it has a very sweet message. This day is so gray. No, it isn't. It's deep, soft brown and shining blue, and silver splashes of bright yellow. This field is blah brown. No, it isn't. It's dots of orange and vines of black with sticks of licorice red and poofs of tan. Well, this snow is boring white. No, it isn't. I can turn the page. Hang on. It's lines of purple and squiggles of gray. It's gems of twinkling silver with stomps of green. Bad luck. That cat is black. She's not all black. She's also soft pads of pink and specks of white, and eyes glowing yellow-green. Plus she's warm, and that's a good thing. So, is this fire? The fire is orange, and I don't like orange. Sounds like me. It isn't just orange, it's flashes of red and yellow and sizzling black logs and gray bits of smoke. Well, it's cozy. Yes, it is. And so is the blue, green, red blanket, and so is the black, pink, white cat, and so is the brown, the brown, white, gray cocoa. And so is the purple and tangerine sunset. And we are cozy too on this day that was so much more than gray. And I like that because sometimes we just have to look inside and outside for all the beautiful colors of the world. And I love that sunset at the end. Isn't that beautiful? All right. Okay, I'm checking my time. And you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead. This is a long book. But it's about light and dark, and it fits in so well. So this book is called The King Who Banned the Dark. The King Who Banned the Dark. And it's an illuminating, it says on the back, it's an illuminating story. So here we go. The King Who Banned the Dark. And you know what banned means, right? Can't do that. I'm going to ban that. The King Who Banned the Dark. There was once a little boy who was afraid of the dark, and there's nothing so unusual about that. Most children are afraid of the dark at one time or another. But this little boy was a prince, and he decided that when he became king, he would do something about the dark. He would ban it. These illustrations are fabulous. Look. Love it, love it, love it. On the first morning of his reign, the king told his advisors about his plan. With the greatest respect, Your Majesty, if you ban the dark just like that, the people won't understand. They'll revolt against you. But if you make them think it's their idea, it might just work. And so the advisors started to spread rumors about the dark. The dark is scary. The dark is boring. You can't play in the dark. Read all about it. The dark is stealing your money. The dark is taking your toys and candy. Interesting. The people had never really worried about the dark before, but all of a sudden, it seemed to be a really bad thing. And so they marched to the palace and demanded a ban on the dark. Very well, said the king. From now on, the dark will be banished from this land. And because everyone had got what they thought they wanted, listen to this, everyone thought they were happy. And to make sure it would never be dark again, an enormous artificial sun was installed above the palace. Left a bit, right a bit. Even when the real sun set, the artificial sun kept shining. And all day and all night it glowed in the sky. Curtains were taken down, anti-dark hats were issued, lamps shone from every window 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the people stayed up all night celebrating, which was easy because it never got dark. But soon, the people were tired of celebrating. In fact, they were just tired. With the lights on all the time, no one could sleep at all. And with no real nighttime, the days dragged on forever. The people had made a mistake. They realized pretty quickly that they needed the dark back. But if anyone tried to switch their lights off, the light inspectors would make them pay a fine. As the king tried to sleep under the glare of 100 light bulbs, he heard shouts outside the palace. "Don't worry, Your Majesty," said the advisors. "What we need is a distraction." And to get the people excited about the dark ban again, the advisors decided to throw a big party. Great celebration of the dark ban with fireworks, the brightest thing of all. But the people weren't as silly as the king's advisors thought they were. Whisper by whisper, they hatched their own plan. And on the night of the great celebration, the king stood on the roof to watch the fireworks. But the sky was so bright that when the first firework went off, nothing could be seen at all. And the king sighed. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the kingdom, a house switched off its lights, and the light inspectors knocked on the door. And at that moment, the lights in the next house went off, and the lights in the house next to that, and the house next to that, and the same thing was happening on the street next to that, and the street next to that, and the sky, this is a fantastic page, began to dim. The light inspectors began to panic, and they called for backup. And all the guards at the palace rushed to help. And that's when, with the palace unguarded, a small group of people climbed the walls and switched off the very last switch. And the switch says, "Artificial sun, do not switch off." Well, they did. And the sky went dark. And the king shuddered. "We must turn the sun back on, Your Majesty," shouted the advisors. "We must crush the uprising. We must punish the people." "Shh," said the king. "Look." The lights had gone out just in time for the grand finale. And instead of punishing anyone, the king lifted the ban on the dark. And now, every year, on the same night, the people set off fireworks in the darkness to remind themselves of what they almost lost. The king is still sometimes a little bit scared of the dark, but he sleeps with a nightlight these days. And if he'd done this in the first place, the whole mess could have been avoided. Isn't that a great book? I love it. And I love this page where they all start, look, 1, 2, then they keep turning them off, and more go off, and more go off, and more go off, and more go off, and it gets dark. And the king realizes that when it's dark, sometimes that's when you see the most spectacular light. I think that's a great book. So thank you, Emily Hallworth Booth, for creating a really wonderful story. All right, I'm sure we've gone on and on and on. It's about that time. So let's see. We've talked about the fact that next week, next Saturday, we're going to have the shortest day and a really long night. But beautiful things happen at night in the dark. And that's when we can see incredible light. And we have all sorts of traditions. And this is a beautiful book. And again, it's all about the light in the darkness. And so I'll go ahead. Let's finish this one. This one's called Christmas Lights. And again, many traditions surround the winter solstice and how we use light. A full moon lights the narrow road. And around the curve, a dazzling spire. How many lights? Too many to count. And in the woods, a grandfather lights one tree for each grandchild. And the road run past the artist's house with its stream of stars. Past the fast food place with its smiling snowman. Toward the lights of town. By the pond, twin trains shine. An apartment balconies blaze. And then, a surprise. The steam plant puffs a wreath of smoke. And an old favorite. An office building like a box for the biggest present in the world. Winding streets are lined with paper bag lanterns, and there's a row of peppermint sticks. And a house so bright we can almost hear the lights. Blink, blink, dazzle, flash, gleam, glow, sparkle, shine. On the way home, one last burst of lights, going, going, gone. It's late now. we're home. Last year, this year, every year, we love our own lights best of all. So I think that's just another, it's hard to see with the glare, another beautiful book where these lights only work against the darkness. So it is Saturday, it is winter, it is December. We are approaching the shortest day, the longest night, but I hope that this week and the week after that you enjoy the lights of the season. So many more wonderful books. But I'm so glad that today that we are here together and that we could share them. All right. I think I have a song to go out on. Let's find it. This is kind of fun. Such a good book. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Except that you have to hear the first verse.
In July, I start to make my list for Christmas. And of course, I make my plans for New Year's Day.
In July?
October's when I dye my eggs for Easter.
Really?
My whole year is a great big holiday. August means it's time to find my dreidel. It takes
August?
practice